Happy Monday. Glad you could join us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic looking at our top stories. Supermoon, super rare. We'll tell you when you can see that. The next one, November witch. That's right. We got a couple of storms brewing, especially in the east. And a tsunami could follow earthquake. We're talking about New Zealand. We'll have images out of that region. But right now, I want to show you this picture right here. Supermoon above Humber Bay East from Brian Gibson. The supermoon is going to be at its peak at 6:22 a.m. this morning. So get out and check it out, but you'll also be able to see it tonight. I certainly saw it last night. It is the biggest and brightest it's been in 68 years. That's just because it's a lot closer to us here, humans. This afternoon, we've got St. John's getting up to 10 degrees, Halifax 13 degrees this afternoon, above average in Toronto getting up to 12, above average towards Montreal too. That's about 3 to 5 degrees above average for those major cities. Looking towards the east, we've got quiet weather for now, but there is a storm approaching. As we look to Wednesday, we've got rain moving up the eastern seaboard, making its way into the maritime provinces, eventually Newfoundland Thursday through Friday. It's coinciding with high tide. So through the Bay of Fundy, Wednesday afternoon at 12 o'clock noon, we've got that high tide coinciding with the rain. So storm surge could be higher than normal. Also, we could be seeing some flooding in the area, but right now guidance is suggesting that we're not going to see a lot of flooding, but we'll watch out for watches and warnings on this. Next storm we're following is developing stateside Colorado low, so there's the energy starting to develop Wednesday. By Thursday, makes its way up towards Manitoba, then northwestern Ontario, through to the weekend. This could bring some gusty winds as well as some snow. Exact cities that we'll see the most right now, it's flip-flopping a little bit, but we'll keep an eye on this for you for places like Thunder Bay, seeing snow to start your weekend. Number 3, no thunder here for our top videos. Some snow for you, so getting ready for winter season, I suppose. Number 2, damage in New Zealand. So there was a 7.8 earthquake that rocked New Zealand, occurring at 5.0. Tsunami warning has been triggered as well. So far, I've heard of 2 deaths from this event and earthquake from inside. More video from this event coming up in Force of Nature. Your local forecast ahead, Force of Nature, timing out the next storms as well as this. Good morning. Glad you could join us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. The start of the week, the temperature pattern has got conditions here above seasonal through southern Ontario. And as we start to end the week, well, we're going to continue to be above seasonal in parts of Ontario due east. However, for parts of the prairie provinces, we are in for a big cold snap. We're even talking snow in cities like Winnipeg, maybe 5 to 10 centimeters to end off the week. The next low to watch out for you in the east comes through really Tuesday night into Wednesday. For the maritime provinces, it's going to be 15 to 30 millimeters of rain, generally speaking. It's coinciding on Wednesday with high tide. So up through the Bay of Fundy, we're going to see high tide with that. So storm surge certainly an issue, and we could see some localized flooding with this. However, it's not looking like a big widespread flooding event. Cooler air moving in from the north, those northwesterly winds funneling down across the prairie provinces. So across the board, we're going to be seeing below average temperatures into the minuses, wind chills, the whole bit. It's going to move into northwestern Ontario by the end of the week. So places like Thunder Bay, keeping an eye on you for snow to start off your weekend. And Chris Murphy has more details on where it's snowing across the country. Thanks for that, Chris. Now, coming up in this edition of Rewind, our storm hunters go from chasing tornadoes to a snowstorm, and we'll see what they find underneath it all. Oh, wow. So we're certainly used to seeing events similar to that in parts of the Great Lakes that see snow squalls such as London or Windsor. Not seeing that this weekend, but for the prairie provinces, we're in for a snow event this week. We'll have more details coming up on that, plus science behind earthquakes and the next storm we're following. We'll break out the timing. Thanks for checking in with us this morning. Current conditions as you're heading out the door. You know what? Pretty quiet across the board here. We've got Halifax sitting at 4 degrees with clear conditions. Seasonal average is 8. Seasonal average in Toronto is around 7. So we are above average here in many major cities with plenty of sunshine. Moosonee seeing 3 with a mix, a rain snow mix there. So there are a few areas who are getting a bit of active weather. Okay, so Wednesday into Thursday, we've got that rain moving in for you in the Atlantic Canada region. Ontario, not in on the action. In fact, we've got temperatures this week that are going to be well above average. Coming up ahead, we'll have your local forecast. We'll have more updates and images coming out of New Zealand and also the story on the late week warm-up. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Nicole Karkic alongside Chris Murphy.
Yes, you're watching the Weather Network, and a big story, of course, has been the big bright object in the night sky.
Yeah, the supermoon. Did you check it out this morning on your drive?
Absolutely, I did. Well, I wasn't looking at it while I was driving.
Of course.
But I saw it before I drove, and then when I parked the car.
All right, we're going to talk about the next storm we're following. Could be the November witch, and the tsunami could follow earthquake. Also, looking at this picture here of the supermoon, Brian captured it. We're going to see more coming up in Share Your Weather. But just so you know, at 6:22 a.m. Eastern Time, the supermoon will be at its biggest and brightest, so really at its peak, even though we've been able to see it last night, we'll be able to see it tonight. 6:22 a.m., folks, so get outside and get some photos. Send them to us here at the Weather Network. We'll put them on TV. St. John's, 10 degrees this afternoon. Halifax, above your average of 8 for this time of year at 13 with sunshine. We got Toronto coming in at 12. That's also above average. Montreal, you're above average too. Check out this special weather statement that's in place through the Bay of Fundy. This is for Wednesday. We've got rain moving along the eastern seaboard. We're going to see some strong winds. This is coinciding with the highest tide we've seen so far this year, Wednesday at noon. Now, we're not looking at significant flooding with this, but could see a little bit of flooding, as well as 15 to 30 millimeters of rain generally when this comes Wednesday through Thursday. It is a rain event because we're mild enough for that. And then Thursday through Friday starts to spread into Newfoundland. So a look here at how much rain we're picking up. Again, a general 15 to 30 millimeters of rain, and then 15 to 30 across Newfoundland as well. Another system to follow, well, it's developing stateside here. We've got Wednesday, this energy building around Colorado, so a Colorado low. Notice it moving along the jet stream there, and the blue, yep, that's snow into cities like Winnipeg, gusty winds, and then northwestern Ontario will see it. Places like Thunder Bay could be looking at 5 to 10, maybe 15 centimeters of snow with this, depending on the exact track. So we'll keep an eye on this closely for you, because by Saturday, not only northwestern Ontario is seeing snow, but for southern Ontario, we could be seeing some lake effect snow around the Great Lakes. But enjoy the above average temperatures still as we start off this week. And then we're going to see the below average temperatures in the prairies. Chris, our top videos.
Interesting in northwestern areas of Ontario.
Exactly. And number 2, damage in New Zealand. And that, Chris, reports of at least 2 deaths.
And the aftershocks as well. Here's another look from inside. Although it was in the South Island, it was certainly felt the shaking on the North Island as well.
Yeah, so you can see north of Christchurch was where it was located.
It's over. There were some large waves with this, but no tsunami actually materialized. But again, the aftershocks will likely continue still. And coming up.
Exactly. We've got your local forecast. And in Share Your Weather, we're going to show you pictures of the supermoon that hasn't been this big and bright in 68 years. We're going to start your Monday off right here. Nicole Karkic and Chris Murphy with you here. It is time now for Share Your Weather. And we have to show photos of the supermoon. I mean, you can see it yourself as you step out the door, but some people really got artistic.
Wow, Brian Gibson just capturing an incredible, I would say an iconic shot.
That's amazing. Really and the supermoon is going to be at its peak really early this morning, so pre-dawn Monday. So tonight you'll also be able to see scenes close to this. But biggest and brightest in 68 years, Chris.
Yes, since 1948, and the next time is not going to be until 2034, so we really want to enjoy it now. And so we on our Twitter, some moments here of captured from Saskatchewan, for example, right across the prairies. Here's another nice one in Ontario as well. Just people out there with their cameras, their smartphones, taking pictures, sending them our way.
Exactly, so you can check this out on our @Weather Network Twitter account and always submit, and maybe your Twitter moments can be featured on our account as well.
All right, from the moon to some beautiful sun shots here. We'll call this one the Battle of the Bays. First of all, Thunder Bay, Ontario. Lovely sunrise, and from there we'll go to a sunset in North Bay.
Oh, awesome. Look at Saturday, so over the weekend. This coming Saturday, Jim, and any other viewer out in North Bay and Thunder Bay, temperatures are going to cool right down. We're also looking at snow towards northwestern Ontario this weekend, but above seasonal this week, Chris, for the east. And here's a system to watch out for Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday into Thursday across the Maritimes, and then ultimately even extending into Friday into Newfoundland. But the thing here is that this low pressure system will be occurring or happening while the high tides are going on. So we could be experiencing some unusually high tides around the Tri-County area of Nova Scotia and Bay of Fundy through New Brunswick.
Timing of that is Wednesday at around noon through the Bay of Fundy. So that's the highest tide we've seen so far this year. Pattern change for the prairies, Chris. We're going to be pulling out all of the layers that we own by the end of the week.
Good 15-degree drop Celsius in temperatures. All right, we've got some pictures here to show you from New Zealand.
Good morning, Nicole Karkic and Rachel Schutzen with you here. We're going to start your morning off right with all the information you need as you head out the door. You know what? It's pretty quiet across the board here.
It really is. Have a look. Toronto at 4 degrees, Timmins at 5, so it's pretty warm start to the morning. Jacket, yeah, you'll need it. Warming up to about 12 in Toronto as we head into the afternoon. Moncton, we're just at 1 and a little bit of fog in Halifax, but look at these temperatures. Nicole, this morning. Kevin, are you there with us? Oh, there you are. Good morning.
Thanks for that update, Kevin. So let's talk about when the cloud cover and rain moves in, taking you to Tuesday night. So Rachel, by Tuesday night, Sault Ste. Marie up towards Timmins and Kapuskasing, grabbing the umbrella.
Exactly, and that front will be passing late Tuesday in through Wednesday morning, the GTA. That's when you could get into some showers. See that front there? And then that continues to move off further to the east. As we talk rain for Atlantic Canada this week, this is what we're looking at.
Yeah, so Wednesday, we've got special weather statements already for this because a system moves up the Atlantic, the eastern seaboard, and then for the Bay of Fundy, we've got the high tide coinciding with this precipitation moving in. So around noon on Wednesday through the Bay of Fundy, we're going to have possibly some storm surge warnings out for you. Not looking like a big flooding event, but a general 15 to 30 millimeters of rain for the Maritimes and Newfoundland by the time it reaches you Thursday.
Exactly. So if you do see special weather statements in place for you within Nova Scotia, that's why. That's the system that's coming in. Now, for more systems this week, we turn to our Long Ranger.
And we're talking temperatures, a big dive in temperatures for the Prairie provinces by the end of the week. Hope your Monday's starting off right. Nicole Karkic and Chris Murphy with you here. Here's our top stories. Supermoon, super rare. Maybe you saw it on your drive blinding you this morning.
The closest one since 1948, and the next time it'll be this close will be 2034. So get out there, enjoy. Hopefully you have clear skies. The next one, a November witch. Oh my, what are we talking about here? Well, this storm could have a little bit of everything, including pockets of very heavy snow and strong winds. So that is all. We'll be detailing that throughout the program.
And the tsunami update out of New Zealand. But right now, a capture of the supermoon above Humber Bay East. Brian Gibson, thanks for sending this in. We'll have more photos coming up in Share Your Weather of viewers' photos of the supermoon. By the way, it peaked at 6:22 a.m. Eastern time this morning, but you'll be able to see it again tonight if you have clear skies, of course, and a lot of us will from Ontario due east. For this afternoon, we've got St. John's at 10 degrees with variable clouds this afternoon. Halifax getting up to 13, which is above your average of 8 for this time of year. Toronto 12. Above your average of 7. So above average across the board here. Here's what we have to watch out for Atlantic Canada. By Wednesday, so Tuesday night into Wednesday, through the Bay of Fundy, we've got this storm that's moving up the eastern seaboard. It's a rain event because we're mild enough for that. Makes its way into Newfoundland by Thursday. But what we have to know is that Wednesday at noon, we've got the highest tides we've seen this year. So through the Bay of Fundy, we could be seeing some higher than normal storm surge and possibly some localized flooding. A general 15 to 30 millimeters of rain across the board here in Atlantic Canada when it does move in. Another thing we're watching, this Colorado low that has yet to develop, but on Wednesday you can see that energy building in over the U.S. starts to move up into the Prairie provinces for Friday into Saturday. That will be Manitoba first, then northwestern Ontario. This is ushering in some much cooler air. So yes, this is a snow event for places like Winnipeg, spreading across into Thunder Bay. And we've got some really cold temperatures, Chris, to talk about in the prairies for this weekend.
Yeah, good.
Pretty spectacular this time of year, even though we've got the shorter days. And our number 2 video, damage in New Zealand. 2 deaths so far with this.
This was very early Monday morning local time, and since then there have been numerous aftershocks registered.
Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. Here's what you need to know this week across the country. As we start off the week, we're going to be above seasonal in a lot of cities like Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal. The blues, yeah, they're sticking towards the north, but we've got the Prairie provinces by the end of the week seeing a lot more blue. We'll talk about that in a moment, but as we look towards Ontario, Quebec, and parts of the Maritime provinces too, above seasonal this week. We're talking about 5 degrees above average. Toronto, for example, this afternoon climbing up to about 12 degrees. Your seasonal average for this time of year is closer to about 7 or 8. Next low to watch out for. We've got special weather statements in place here through the Bay of Fundy because we've got a system moving up the Atlantic coast, and that will move rain into the Maritime provinces on Wednesday. So really Tuesday night through to Wednesday is when we're following the system. It's coinciding with high tide. The highest tide we've seen so far this year through the Bay of Fundy. That will be Wednesday at noon. Looking at maybe some storm surge warnings popping up, but not a big flooding event. Maybe localized flooding with this. We'll keep an eye on it for you. Pattern change this week. Big drop in the jet stream is going to funnel in those northerly winds for the Prairie provinces. So for the end of the week, we're going to be changing what we're wearing dramatically, especially compared to last week. I mean, the Prairie provinces were breaking records last week. It was record warmth. Now we've got to worry about places like Winnipeg on Friday, seeing snow, courtesy of this Colorado low that's going to be moving in, and then northwestern Ontario seeing snow with this as well. Chris Murphy has more details. Good morning, Nicole Karkic and Rachel Schutzen with you here. As you step out the door, we don't have much to report, but there is stuff coming midweek, so we've got those details coming up.
Yard, you've got the gloves on this morning. We were in awe of that super moon, but now in Port Credit, looks like that moon, it's gone for until at least 2034.
All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Now, for you in Atlantic Canada, we have special weather statements in place. Let's explain that for a second before we move on. 15 to 30 millimeters of rain moving through on Wednesday, which is coinciding with the high tide through the Bay of Fundy. So something to consider. We could see storm surge warnings popping up with that. But now the next storm we're following.
All right, so as we take a look at this, basically this trough that starts to develop in the jet stream,
Certainly getting it by the end of the week across the Prairie provinces. Temperatures sliding way down. We're going to be talking wind chills in the minuses for cities like Winnipeg, which could see 5 to 10 centimeters of snow to end off the week.
All right, so that's a system that's coming in this week for Toronto. Rain with this, and we'll see that on Saturday. Now coming up, our teams in Orlando. Lots of fun. Stay with us.
All right, and it looks like Orlando is going to have some nice weather this week. Temperatures in the mid-20s. Nicole Karkic and Chris Murphy with you here. Our top stories in Canada. Well, we've got a super moon, which is super rare.
We do. The next one, this storm is going to impact parts of the country in terms of snow, wind, and for other areas, just warmer temperatures. So we'll break that down for you. And surviving an earthquake, of course, in New Zealand, a 7.8 magnitude.
All right, the super moon did peak at 6:22 a.m. this morning, Eastern Time. But you'll be able to see a bright moon again tonight. If you have clear skies, of course. This afternoon, St. John's going to be variable clouds, 10 degrees. Halifax, 13 sunny skies this afternoon for you, so a clear night tonight for checking out that moon. Montreal, 12 for the high. Toronto, 12 degrees for you this afternoon. Those temperatures are above average, folks. And we've got the special weather statement in place for Wednesday through the Bay of Fundy. Wednesday afternoon, we've got high tide coinciding with this. Rain moving up along the eastern seaboard, dropping a general 15 to 30 millimeters. It's rain, though. We're not seeing any rain-snow mix or snow with this. It's just too mild. And then by Thursday, it's moving into Newfoundland. So, you know what? Not too much rain, but 15 to 30 millimeters on tap for us. And another storm we're following, well, this one developing on Wednesday. You can see this energy over Colorado that will move up into the Prairie provinces, bringing snow, and northwestern Ontario poised to see some snow as well. Coming up, we'll show more photos of the super moon, and we'll tell you when the next time is that we could see this big event in the sky. And we have to show photos of the super moon. I mean, you can see it yourself as you step out the door,
Yes.
but some people really got artistic.
Wow, Brian Gibson just capturing an incredible,
Yeah.
I'd say an iconic shot.
That's amazing.
It really
And
is.
the super moon is going to be at its peak really early this morning, so pre-dawn Monday. So tonight you'll also be able to see
Yes.
scenes close to this, but biggest and brightest in 68 years, Chris.
Yes, it's 1948, and the next time is not going to be until 2034, so we really want to enjoy it now. And so we on our Twitter, some moments here of captured from
It's coming Saturday, Jim, and any other viewer out in North Bay and Thunder Bay. Temperatures are going to cool right down.
Yep.
We're also looking at snow towards northwestern Ontario this weekend, but above seasonal this week, Chris, for the east. And here's a system to watch out for Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday into Thursday across the Maritimes, and then ultimately even extending into Friday into Newfoundland. But the thing here is that this low pressure system will be occurring or happening while the high tides are going on. So we could be experiencing some unusually high tides around the Tri-County area of Nova Scotia and Bay of Fundy through New Brunswick.
Timing of that is Wednesday at around noon through the Bay of Fundy. So that's the highest tide we have seen so far this year. Pattern change for the prairies, Chris.
yes.
We're going to be pulling out all of the layers that we own by the end of the week.
good 15-degree drop Celsius in temperatures. All right, we've got some pictures here to show you from New Zealand.
They're so into it.
Enjoy that while we tell you about this. Cool down coming for the prairie provinces. A major cool down, not just a little bit, Rachel. We've got temperatures that will be cold enough that we have got some snow to worry about.
Exactly. So that's our next big system. All those details are coming up. But right now, our current conditions, 8 degrees in Montreal with some sunshine, 7 in Charlottetown, and we're just warming up in Toronto, but 12 the daytime high today. Average is 7, so another above seasonal day in the GTA.
Absolutely. But there is rain coming. By Tuesday, we'll see it first in northwestern Ontario.
On top of that, you get to enjoy the beautiful Orlando weather. Have I made you guys jealous enough yet?
I don't know how Chrissy's keeping a straight face with their guest there.
Yeah. And yes, I am jealous. We've seen pictures behind the scenes of them just enjoying some pina coladas by the pool. That's called work, apparently, when you're a reporter and you get to go to Florida.
Yes, but we'll be talking about big changes coming. Temperature plunging in the prairies this weekend that could set up for quite a storm. So not everybody's going to get snow, but some of you will. So we've got to talk about that.
Yeah, and surviving a massive earthquake, we'll give you updates out of New Zealand. But the super moon, super rare because it hasn't been this close in 68 years. It peaked this morning at 6:22 a.m. Eastern time. It'll still be quite spectacular tonight, given if you have clear skies, of course. So look up again tonight. Take some photos, tag them, share your weather. St. John's, Newfoundland, 10 degrees this afternoon. Halifax will be 13 with clear skies. Clear skies tonight, too, to see that moon again. Montreal, 12, and Toronto, 12 degrees. So a lot of these numbers above average for this time of year. For Montreal, you're a good almost 5 degrees above where you should be for this time of year. Then we've got rain moving into Atlantic Canada. This is for Tuesday night through to Wednesday. Now, what's important to note is that Wednesday at noon, this will be coinciding through the Bay of Fundy with the high tide. Then it starts to make its way towards the east. All right, and hopefully we can see you do that. Thanks for joining us this morning. Nicole Karkic with you here. And as we look across the country, our temperatures aren't going to be as warm as it's getting in Orlando this week. In fact, this week in Orlando, we've got sunny skies for the next couple of days. We've got a temperature roller coaster happening. So at the start of the week, yeah, we're above seasonal through parts of Ontario and Quebec, looking pretty good out towards the prairies. And the above average temperatures are hitting cities like Toronto, Montreal, and the Maritime provinces to start off the week. But we also are concerned about this. Rain moving into the Maritime provinces, and it's rain because we're so mild into Wednesday that it is going to remain as rain, not snow. However, this rain moves up and it's coinciding with our high tide through the Bay of Fundy Wednesday at about noon. So possibly some storm surge through that region and localized flooding not out of the question. Pattern change is huge towards the prairie provinces. We were breaking records last week because of the above average conditions. Northwesterly winds come shooting down, much cooler air comes into place, and we've got the potential to see snow in cities like Winnipeg towards Thunder Bay as well. General of 5 to 15 centimeters is what we're looking at right now. But again, the big thing is the Arctic chill coming, and Chris Murphy is going to give us the latest on that snow across the country this week. Thanks for joining us this morning. Nicole Karkic and Rachel Schutzen with you here. We've got lots to talk about, but here's a little peek at what you have to worry about Friday into the weekend. Pulling out the parkas, finally using the shovels because we've got snow and cold air. All right, thanks for that, Kevin. Looking at our current conditions as you're heading out the door in Montreal, it's 8 degrees with clear skies. Rachel, we've got St.
So this is above seasonal, but let's chat now about that rain that's coming to the Maritimes and why some special weather statements are in place.
That's right. So special weather statements are through the Bay of Fundy. I'll let you deliver the good news.
All right, so what we're seeing here is a trough in the jet stream, and that is going to form the Colorado low. And
you're above average for many to start off this week. So with that jet stream dipping down and those northwesterly winds coming in, yeah, we've got snow in cities like Winnipeg and Thunder Bay as well. We'll break down more details on the timing of this storm and how much you'll see coming up. I wish someone would buy me that gift.
I might have to book my time off.
Yes.
From work here. Good morning. You're watching the Weather Network. Yes, we're back in Oakville. They're having all the fun down
in Orlando. Okay, super moon, super rare. We'll show you some photos of that throughout the morning. The next one, November Witch, we'll talk about the next storm and surviving an earthquake. That's in reference to New Zealand, where there was an earthquake early Monday morning. But look at this. It was spectacular, Chris.
This is an iconic shot, I would say. And the closest this moon is to Earth until the next occasion will be not till November 2034.
Exactly. Now, it peaked this morning at 6:22 a.m. Eastern Time. You'll be able to see it again. It won't be, of course, at its peak, but it'll still be pretty spectacular if you have clear skies. And you will have clear skies tonight in Halifax. We've got 13 this afternoon. Sunshine for you. You are about 5 degrees above your average for this time of year. Same can be said as we look towards Montreal, Toronto as well. 12 is your daytime high. Seasonal average is closer to 7, and that mix of sun and cloud too. This is for Wednesday here. This special weather statement through the Bay of Fundy talks about how the highest tide we have seen so far this year will coincide with rain moving along the eastern seaboard into the Maritime provinces Tuesday through Wednesday. That high tide will be around noon through the Bay of Fundy, so something to watch out for. Could see some storm surge warnings popping up with that. We'll talk more about this system and how long it'll last coming up.
We're talking Arctic chill. Is that going to be okay with you? Yeah, I know. All right, back inside the studio.
Arctic chill.
So cute. All right, they're having fun in Orlando, as you can see. Temperatures in Orlando this week are going to be in the mid-20s.
Yes.
They've got sunshine today and tomorrow. Who has sunshine this morning, Rachel?
A lot of us do. It's a beautiful sunrise in Toronto. Montreal sees it too. Halifax, we saw a little bit of fog, but hey, look into the afternoon. You're up to 13. So we have some really beautiful conditions across eastern Canada for your Monday.
All right, now by Tuesday, rain moves into northwestern Ontario first through the morning. Then by evening, it'll be hitting places like Sault Ste. Marie, Timmins, Kapuskasing. By Wednesday morning, the Greater Toronto region does have a risk of seeing spotty showers for the morning commute.
Exactly, and then we're going to clear out throughout the day. And Nicole, this is the week for double digits across southern Ontario.
Absolutely.
We're seeing it every single day. We're really warming in through Friday. And if you can stay with us, we'll have more on those details coming up, and plus this system here.
Yeah, Wednesday, we've got rain moving across the Maritime provinces. So rain, not snow, but it is coinciding with the highest tide of the year so far through the Bay of Fundy.
Let's talk about the cold.
Yeah,
Easy to
thanks
say when you're in
for leaving
Orlando.
us with the tough stuff. Okay, super moon, super rare. We've got the next one, November Witch, possibly. We could be following that. And surviving a massive earthquake, updates out of New Zealand.
All right, so of course the moon, from where all over the country it was seen where you had those clear skies. Spectacular stuff.
Absolutely, and it did peak this morning at 6:22 a.m. Eastern Time. But if you have clear skies tonight, you'll get a good chance of still seeing a fairly large, bright moon. This afternoon, St. John's 10 degrees, Halifax 14 with clear skies tonight for you, Toronto 12. These numbers you're seeing on this map generally are about 5 degrees above average. Now, there is a system moving into the Maritime provinces. We'll give you the details on the timing and how much rain we're going to pick up through the week. Oh, sounds awesome. So yeah, book your trips now. Orlando, by the way, in the mid-20s this week with lots of sunshine. All right, the start of this week, as Chris mentioned, we are above seasonal through parts of southern Ontario due east. As we look to places like Toronto, Fredericton, Moncton, Halifax too, you're above average today and into tomorrow as well. So this week, a few degrees above where we should be. That means that when this system moves in, it's not going to be snow for the Maritime provinces or Newfoundland. It's going to be a rain event. Now, on Wednesday, as this system moves up from the eastern seaboard, we are going to be seeing it coincide with the highest tide we've seen so far this year. So something to consider with possibly some storm surge, but cool air setting up for some snow. Chris has the details.